Good day, I'm Andrea Chisholm and this is your JIS News for Thursday, May 28. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips is anticipating that interest rates in the banking sector will be further reduced as government continues to implement its economic reform program. He says that since government restricted its borrowing from the banks, more money is being made available to Jamaicans through the banking system. The Finance Minister says the government will continue that trend when its interest rates on bonds become due next year.
And one major thing that we will be doing is that when we make the payouts, and there's $62 billion due to be paid out early next year, the government is not going to be going into the market to borrow it back. And that will again have constitute a further pressure to lower interest rates.
Dr. Phillips was addressing the Small Business Association of Jamaica's luncheon on Wednesday. He said government would continue to support the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises by increasing access to credit and offering technical support to businesses. Meanwhile, government continues to work with the private sector to facilitate development on the island. The latest partnership is happening in Western Jamaica in the business process outsourcing sector.
The BPO industry here in Western Jamaica is being extended to Sandy Bay and Lucy in Hanover, where new BPO factory space is now being created to generate more investments and jobs.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller says government is also pursuing more foreign investment in the BPO and agricultural sectors to benefit Western Jamaica. In the meantime, 70 residents of Western Jamaica are now proud landowners following a recent titling ceremony by the National Land Agency. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller used the ceremony to pledge government's unwavering support for increasing the number of Jamaican landowners.
Land titling will continue to be high on the agenda of the government, and we encourage more landowners to secure titles for their properties. And I want to make one point. When we are dealing with land titles and distribution, no politics is involved. I don't care what people support. All Jamaicans are entitled to own a piece of this rock.
Speaking specifically to the recipients who hail from the parishes of St. James, Westmoreland, Hanover and Trelawney, Mrs. Simpson-Miller encouraged them to register their lands. And at that same titling ceremony, Climate Change Minister Robert Pickersgill announced that there had been an overall increase in forest cover on the island. He said the latest land use forest assessment done by the Forestry Department showed that forest cover stood at 1,394 hectares annually.
The findings also reveal that 441,000 hectares of the land is now classified as forest. And this is a trend we'll endeavor to conclude in the future.
The minister used the titling ceremony to encourage new landowners to help sustain the health of the island's natural resources.
One method of ensuring that your land and your community are healthy is by planting and replanting trees where necessary. By so doing, you will improve your air quality.
And finally, the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency PICA says things are moving smoothly at the National Indoor Sports Center, where it is processing passport applications and delivery normally done at its Constant Spring Road office. The agency has set up temporary operations there since Monday to better deal with the rush of Jamaicans coming in to get their passports ahead of the announced fee increases which take effect on June 1.
You can see it is much bigger in capacity, and we are able to serve like more than twice the numbers that we would normally do. It's more spacious. If rain falls, there is no problem. You can see that people are a bit more comfortable.
PICA's Chief Executive Officer says the space has also allowed them to set up designated spaces for serving persons with special needs and with children. And while acknowledging that the situation remains stressful, she says PICA is doing its best to make persons comfortable and work as quickly as possible while still being meticulous.
Because you remember, a passport lasts for 10 years and you are accepted at every port. You could be in Berlin, you could be in Beijing, right? A an immigration officer will look at your picture and look at you and say this is not you. So we have to be as careful and as meticulous as we can.
Since Monday, the agency has been processing as much as 1,200 tickets daily. PICA starts issuing tickets at 5 a.m. and opens its doors from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Operations normally end at 2:30 p.m. on Fridays, but Ms. McDonald says they may need to go beyond that time at this location. The public is also reminded that no new applications are processed at PICA's locations in Portmore and Maypen on the last 2 working days of each month based on an agreement with the tax office. They can be accommodated at the National Indoor Sports Center. Going forward, the CEO says the agency is speeding up plans to acquire a new larger head office and to implement online applications. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.